okay. I know, I'm back. You can stop yelling at me. I know I haven't made a video in 6 months. That's my bad. I was too busy not wanting to. I was sitting on my cord for my microphone. Hi, I'm Joel. The first movie I ever saw was Finding Nemo back when I was just a little baby. But the first movie I remember seeing was WALL-E. I know I'm gonna sound like a fucking geezer when I say this, but all of us over a certain age relate to the experience of going to Blockbuster with a steaming hot pipe and za chilling in the back seat, and you hide behind your dad while he pays the late fee on Mario Party for DS that you lost on the couch at your friend's house. We all have that same experience, right? Sorry, Dad. The first known video rental store opened up in LA in 1977 with a selection of VHS, Betamax, and nothing else because nothing else existed yet. Dumbass! The popularity of video rentals only skyrocketed since then as we saw the rise of Hollywood Video, Blockbuster, and then eventually Redbox. During this time, the movie industry flourished. Rental stores got licenses to purchase and rent out these movies, which provided what was a second source of income for each movie's release, and there used to be an entire culture around rentals too, what with there being fast food partnerships to get free rental with a meal, or the fact that the stores themselves would be social hubs on a Friday night. But as the clock keeps ticking and talking and shitting and farting, so too does technology. At the end of the day, video rentals were a source of convenience. Instead of having to purchase a movie or wait around for it to show up on TV, you can spend a fraction of the price and rent it for the 1 or 2 times that you intended on watching it anyways. And what's the only thing better than that? Getting all of those perks without ever having to leave your home in the first place. Streaming services, social media, and food delivery apps have all completely made the need for video rental stores non-existent, with the only real purpose of trying to retain it being nostalgia. But the ball didn't just drop there. The ball's dropped right here. Am I right or am I right? Come on, don't leave me hanging. Not only has it obliterated an entire form of business, leaving 25,000 employees without a job at the time of Blockbuster's bankruptcy, but it has completely changed what qualifies as a movie worth the money for investors, and even how it's watched by viewers. This is how Netflix killed the movie industry. In 2007, Netflix released their first streaming package as a free perk for members of their DVD by mail service. And in 2011, they decided to offer a streaming-only package for the price of 3 Blockbuster rentals a month. With this product becoming more common with services like Netflix, Hulu, and Disney+, the producers of films started to realize that they were earning less and less money after the theatrical run. This is because the average consumer felt less incentive to actually buy DVDs when they can just stream the movie on Netflix. This only got more and more common when everyone was quarantined and stuck inside with nothing to do, so they just watched a bunch of movies. With everyone bored out of their minds, they needed to find some source of entertainment, so they resorted to streaming services. Of course, they were already pretty big before, but they saw a major boom during this time. Major boom? In light of this situation, the movie industry started to scramble to figure out what they would do with their pre-produced movies that were slated for summer of 2020. And that's when we saw the rise of Hollywood-scale movies being released directly to streaming services. Even 6 years after the fact, we are seeing the gap between movie theater release and upload online shrinking more and more. Avengers Endgame, which released in April of 2019, was on streaming services 7 months after its premiere. But Superman, a movie that released just last year, had its streaming debut less than 2 months after its release. And the movies or shows designed for these streaming services have been seeing bigger and bigger budgets as time has passed. I will say this, the idea of original programming has existed for a while. Disney had their own catalog of original made-for-TV films like Little Vampire about a little vampire, Dad Napped about a dad napping, and Jumpin' about fucking jumping, dude. That was a good, I like that one. That's a good joke. That's a good joke. Up until this point, streaming services were a bit more tame in terms of their effect on the overall creative industry, save for a few shows that turned into pop culture events like Stranger Things and 13 Reasons Why. But with the rise of a need for convenient media, it only seemed obvious to executives that they should spend more time and attention to this growing platform. The Hollywood Reporter reported, reporter.
I hardly know her. Sorry. Okay.
Box office revenue in the US dropped from $11.4 billion in 2019 to $7.5 in 2022, and it has only gotten worse since. Due to the lack of funds, executives aren't willing to take as many risks, so that's why you see so many remakes, reboots, and sequels. In an interview on Hot Ones, Matt Damon blames streaming services for the lack of creativity in the industry. Whereas before, a movie could survive not making money in theaters as it would see a later rush of income on its physical release, now with streaming services, there is no second wave of cash. The service hopes hopes to gain or maintain subscriptions by licensing these films or shows, but the profit is nowhere near the amount to match the former days of physical media releases. This all led to be a huge topic in the Writers Guild of America strike that shut down Hollywood in 2023. One of the major subjects for discussion was the increase of residuals for streaming. Due to there being less money overall, a lot of the writers were not getting paid fairly for their work despite their content being featured all over the internet. A lot of the money that traditionally would trickle down to the staff was going straight to the streamers' pockets, despite in the situation of a licensed show, the only thing they provide is money and a host for viewers to access the content. All of this is talking about just one demand for the WGA strike, but there is a lot more to it, including AI protections and an entirely different strike ran by the Screen Actors Guild, or SAG. So if you're interested in that, please let me know. Feel free to sound off in the comments and I'll see if I can get something working. Look, as the kids like to say, movies are dope type shit. I've been into them since I was a kid type shit, and one day I hope I can make one type shit. The medium has been a major part of my life, and I'm thankful that I was born in the same universe as creations like On the Count of Three or Interstellar. But then again, taking the good with the bad, I also exist in the same universe as Ice Cube's War of the World and this fucking thing. I'm not the only one who's been changed by this format for storytelling. Without movies, we wouldn't have, I can think of something. Fuck. Without movies, we wouldn't have Star Wars, which would make sense because those are movies. Is this a good outro?